My friend Glenn, my friend Glenn. Welcome once again to my friend Glenn, my friend Glenn. Welcome once again to my friend Glenn.
And welcome back, everyone. It is October 2021, and my guest today is a very talented, hardworking, and funny lady. And she has a big heart. She is...
Hi, I'm Shelley Pack. I'm an improviser, a comedian, and a writer and producer.
Now, we have never met, but we have a mutual friend, Matthew Moore.
Yes, one of my favorite people, favorite humans.
He was the very first guest on my podcast, and he is the lovely, talented, and very funny Matthew Moore, and he's an improv artist, which I understand you do improv also.
Yeah, that's how we met. He is the artistic director of Improv for the People, and we perform regularly there. My first love for comedy is just kind of making stuff up on the spot, and I love improv. I love all forms of comedy, but it's one of my favorites to perform is improv.
Okay, Shelley, what exactly is improv? Are there examples on TV?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's seen like Whose Line Is It Anyway, is an improv show. The show Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David writes the story, and then a lot of the dialogue is improvised. So improv means there's no scripts. You don't know what's going to happen. And you just listen to whatever your partner's saying on stage, and then you make it up as you go along. So it's kind of like life, right? There are no scripts. And you just really want to be in the present moment and listen. You can't write and pay attention at the same time. So you really have to be focused in the moment, and then no inhibitions. You can't have any fear. You just gotta nail it when you can. And yeah, you have to be funny, Glenn. I'm not going to lie. If you're not funny, improv is not for you.
With the holidays coming, maybe you're thinking about flying to see family and friends. Here's a little tip for you. TSA PreCheck. What is it? Well, go to tsa.gov and find out. It's only $85 for 5 years. You renew online, and it gets you through all the TSA checkouts a lot faster. So tsa.gov, check it out. You have a movie, an independent movie on Amazon Prime. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's called Chasing Molly. It's actually, Amazon Prime is one way to see it. You can see it on Redbox On Demand. You can buy it on Target. You didn't ask me to plug it, but since you opened the door, Glenn, I'm just going to walk right through. You can buy it at Target and Best Buy, at Walmart. So you can buy Blu-rays, DVDs, and then you can also stream it pretty much everywhere. But Amazon Prime is the big one.
In the movie, Chasing Molly, and I will repeat that throughout the interview.
I would appreciate if you did, Glenn.
And I might refer to you as Molly at some point too. So
that's fine by me.
You are not only the actor, writer, but producer too, correct?
Correct.
Okay. First, the writer yourself comes up with the story. How did that begin?
I have a partner. His name is Josh Sutherland. He's the director, and he's also my producing partner. He was stuck in Indonesia for a few months and ended up shooting this footage of a girl running through like this really cool looking ancient town. And it's supposed to be like this ancient teapot ceremony. It looked really cool, 4K footage, which is theater quality footage. And he goes, we should make a feature. I'm like, I definitely want to make a feature. And so that's what we had. In using improv skills, I said, okay, well, what would be funny about horror? Because I don't want to run around screaming. It's like not good for the face. It doesn't look great, Glenn. So what's the comedic take? And so we came up with paranormal con artists. So people who would believe, let you to believe that you're being haunted, but are really stealing your valuables instead of, taking away your demons, right? So, and then my partner and I, we kind of came up with the story. We knew we had to do a run the gauntlet, like my character had to keep meeting other characters. And that's for production's sake, because then we could film that actor for a few hours and then wrap them and then move on. And then he said, all right, when you have 90 pages written, we'll start filming. So I sat down and I wrote all the dialogue, and I had actors in mind for certain parts. So as I'm writing, I'm like improvising in my head what I think that actor would say. And that's how I'm able to kind of write characters specifically for some of the actor friends that I knew, who I knew I was like, okay, he's hilarious when he gets angry. I'm going to write a thing where he gets.
That's great. So you actually wrote with people in mind.
I wrote with people in mind. Yeah, I'd have an idea for a character, something I thought might be funny. Two of our characters are, they're actors, but their day job is police officers. So they really want to be actors, but to pay the bills, they're cops. And I knew who I had in mind, right? For these, Mike Rose and Drew Droege, hilarious improvisers. So it's both. It's one, I think about the actor, and then I also think about a funny character. And then with improv, you go with what you have, right? So we had a teapot. We had a horror movie thing we had to tweak.
Right.
And so you use what you have.
Got it.
We have a pawn shop scene where people are like, oh, that's so funny. You wrote about candlestick holders, a spoon, a tennis racket. Well, that's what I had. And then I wrote the comedy, right? It wasn't like, oh, I wrote this funny scene and then I went and found a tennis racket. With improv, it's like, okay, this is what you have. You got an old tennis racket. Make it funny. Now how are you going to improvise a scene where you can use what you got? And that's improv. And so that's independent filmmaking. You don't have budgets for, like, that's a pawn shop where people are, a real pawn shop where there's people shopping there while we're filming. So you have to be really, as an independent producer, be quick and really logistically know what you're doing.
Okay.
And then also be flexible, extremely flexible, and then using what you have.
Are you snacking while listening to my podcast? Well, check out Vegan Rob's Puffs, all plant-based. Beet, cauliflower, spinach, and dragon. Ooh, they are hot. Something new I discovered, turmeric crisp. They're in a canister and they're potato chips. So check out Vegan Rob's at your market, Amazon Prime, or veganrobs.com. What basically does a producer do, or what did you do as a producer on Chasing Molly?
Glenn, so a producer is one of those jobs that people don't realize is what makes the movie actually happen logistically.
Okay.
So the producer has to do the casting. They have to book the locations. They have to get the music for the film. They have to get all the licenses. They have to deal with SAG. I don't mean to say deal with SAG like it's a bad thing, but it's a job. Any prop that you would need, someone has to make that happen. So everything you see on camera, someone had to arrange that. Now my actors, they need to eat. So someone has to buy food. The producer has to go out and buy food. Now there's some producers that would just be a money producer who would give money. And then there's other producers that are actually the boots on the ground, running around, getting everyone organized. Like I said, doing all of the logistics of getting all the actors and background people and paperwork and everything. And then hiring an editor, all that stuff. And then as independent producers, we watched every cut, every edit, every sound effect, So at the same time, though, because it was just the two of us making this film, we weren't going to let anything drop. And then we got to make the movie we wanted. We didn't have anyone over us saying, oh, we got to please this ad guy. We got to, that's too much. Or we just made the funniest movie possible without any rules. And anyone telling us we couldn't. So it was pretty liberating.
Well, I think that's great because it sounds like a labor of love. It's not like you had a story, a script, and you went to a studio and tried to get it made. You decided to make it yourself, which doesn't sound like it's very easy. People might say, oh, yeah, just go shoot it on my iPhone.
No.
So there's a lot more involved than just shooting it on an iPhone.
Yeah. Fortunately, my partner has a Red Cam, which is a 4K cam, and some really nice lavs. So we had great equipment, but no, it is, first of all, it's way more expensive than you think. It's also way more challenging than you think. There was nothing going to stop us. And if it took a year and a half to actually film it, and then another year and a half to edit it, because you're paying people, they're doing it nights and weekends. People are doing you favors, and that's how you get it done. But yeah, we had another feature that we were wanting to raise money for and calling the investors. And we just said, I'm like, I can't spend one more day, Glenn, asking people for money And there are people that said yes, and then it got close. That I said, I just want to film. I'm an artist. I want to make a movie, and whatever it took. And then they're like, okay, you need color, you need a new soundtrack, you just keep doing the next thing that needs to be done.
With the holidays coming, the best way to do your online shopping? Amazon Prime. Same day, next day, and 2-day delivery to yourself or to your loved ones. So do your shopping on Amazon Prime. Plus, you get Amazon Prime Video, where you can see Shelley's movie, Chasing Molly, the latest in TV shows, movies, and documentaries. Amazon Prime. Check it out. So let's talk about the acting part of it, okay? The character of Molly. How did you come up with Molly?
Molly is very much my sense of humor. So it's how I'm kind of sarcastic, and I kind of would say what the audience is thinking. I maybe would state the obvious in a funny way. That's my sense of humor. So I really wanted to write a character where I got to express my sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Her decision making and life choices would not be ones that I would make. But I definitely wanted, a version of myself that I thought would be fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like a character where I'm going in and I'm going to be a witch. Molly is definitely probably what Shelley would say in a lot of the situations.
Yeah.
So it was important for me to really have my voice.
Yeah.
As a female comedian, no one's going to write that perfect thing for you. And as usually as a female, like you're the wife or like I can't even tell you how many prostitute characters I played. It's like, well, you're the foil, right? You're the one that kind of helps the man be the funny one, right? He's funny. So I wanted to have my own voice, and in order to have that a platform to showcase that, I had to write a script. And then in order to have that script to be seen, I had to produce the movie.
Right.
Then in order to produce the movie and have it out in the world, I had to sell the movie, which is a whole other thing because I ended up getting distribution.
What is distribution so people know?
You have a feature, and in order for it to go on some of these platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime,
right,
there's a third-party company that puts it out there.
Okay.
That's the one who negotiates the deals with all of the different, networks, and they handle all the money that comes in. So essentially they own the rights to your movie, and then you get a percentage of what they sell.
Okay.
Some people, I think, they try what they call it four-walling it. Well, they're paid to have their movies in theaters, which is very expensive.
Right.
Or try and put it up themselves, maybe on YouTube or something like that.
Right.
Or they'll do the festival route. You might hear that, where you can get a distributor to put your movie out.
Right.
What we did, we just called distribute. Everyone's got a digital footprint, an email,
right,
and reach out to them directly and say, I have a finished feature. Here it is. We uploaded it, and then negotiate from there. We went with Gravitas domestically.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the biggest for independent films. So we just really wanted as many eyeballs on it as possible. And
right,
it went back and forth. And then we later went to the American film market and sold it to the UK. So it's now available in the UK, and it's now available in the Middle East.
Wow.
So our movie's making its way. Yeah.
That is so cool. So what's your next project?
The next thing I want to do, you put $20 million on my lap. I want to make another movie.
Right.
As an artist, you don't make one movie to make money and then retire and be like, well, that was great.
And I guess it's like your calling card now.
Right. Exactly. I can't think of a better calling card for me as a comedian or an actor is this movie. It's like, well, this is not only my comedic voice, but this is my writing. And,
right,
and then my partner and I, this is what we're capable of making together on, pennies for what it would cost to feature. Yeah. From a studio.
Got a little craving for a burger and side of fries? Maybe you don't eat red meat. Well, check out the plant-based menu at Veggie Grill. Nachos, a Reuben, a tuna melt, desserts, salads, chicken sandwiches, all at Veggie Grill. Check out the app and you can get rewards for free meals. VeggieGrill.com. Okay, there's a bad guy in your movie, and he looks kind of familiar.
Kurt Angle is our wrestler. He's a professional wrestler and Olympic gold medalist.
Oh, okay.
And he plays our bad guy. And, most of the people everyone else in the movie, I personally know comedian friends of mine.
Okay.
Kurt Angle was a complete cold call. My partner says, we need a wrestler. That's who we want. We want someone like big, tough. Like, keep in mind, I had not watched wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Hulk Hogan. That's it.
Okay.
So I'm like, aside from him, I don't know anybody.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm reaching out on social media to people's managers, and Kurt Angle gets back to me. Well, unbeknownst to me, he's huge. I mean, now I know because I know his fan base. And I told my director, I'm like, do you know Kurt Angle? And he's like, don't, Shelley, stop. You're messing with me. Stop. I'm like, no, he responded to me.
Wow.
I'm sent him a script. And he's like, shut up. I'm like, I swear to God, this is what's happening. And he is talk about an Olympic gold medalist and a champion. He read the script himself, wasn't somebody like handed it off to his agent. And he's like, I want to do your movie. It's funny.
Wow.
I don't care that you're an independent. You're not paying me what studios pay me.
Right.
And my agents say it's not enough. I think it's funny. I want to do it.
Yeah, because when I saw him, I think he's like the perfect bad guy.
Right? When I saw him, Glenn, I'm like, this is him. This is him. I have to have him. And it's the same thing with our Hispanic gang leader. I also didn't know him. His name is Scar. And I saw these viral videos. They're called Cholos Try. Cholos Try watching Mean Girls. Cholos Try drinking kombucha. And it's their like hilarious take on it. And I see this guy. He has tattoos on his face, neck, head. And then I say, same thing with Kurt. I'm like, that's him. I have to have him. Well, I got to find this guy, Glenn. His birth name is not Scar. I'm like, Google, I'm trying to find him. He's got like 6 different aliases. And I finally find him. Thank God for the internet and social media. And I contact him and I'm like, I want you to do my, and he was like, yeah.
Have you tried any plant-based milks lately? My favorite brand, Silk. Soy milk, almond milk, and oat milk. It is free from dairy, gluten, carrageenan, cholesterol, artificial colors, and flavors. I add it to my chai tea. First, I froth the milk, put some cinnamon in there, mixed it together, and good. There's a line in the movie, taste the tip. How did you come up with that line?
This came from my perverted, because I thought, well, what was the most extreme thing someone could try and do when they're intoxicated on Molly? And then it kind of went from there. I was at a regular doctor visit and my doctor comes in, he goes, taste the tip. And I'm like, wow, you're a medical professional. You're not, but meanwhile, I couldn't have been happier. I was like, you're quoting my movie. But yeah, it's now, taste the tip has been translated in Arabic, Hindi, Indonesian, and Russian. So you're welcome, world. You're welcome.
You have to see the movie to reference what we're talking about.
Correct. I like that. A little challenge there, Glenn.
When it comes to working out, do you feel unmotivated? Well, let me tell you something. With my Apple Watch, I got Apple Fitness Plus. They have dozens of workouts from 5 minutes all the way up to 45. HIIT, yoga, core, strength, cycling, treadmill, new meditation, and Pilates. And the virtual coaches are always there to motivate you. Apple Fitness Plus. Now we're going to come to the part of the show with kind of just silly, nothing serious.
I've not been serious 1 second.
Okay, so something I ask everybody. When you get up in the morning, first thing you consume, eat or drink?
Coffee.
Shelley, that's the most common answer I get from everybody. What do you do when you're not doing comedy?
Okay, well, this is a passion thing. As you can see, my shirt says The Miracle Project.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about what is that?
Yeah, I work with students of all abilities, mainly with autism, but also with Down syndrome, CP, and all abilities.
Okay.
And also based on improv. So I do improv comedy for social skills. And that's how my students and participants come out of their shell and conversate and become themselves. And I use the lessons of improv. So, okay, wait, that's not outside of improv. That's my heart. So I have to talk about it.
Now, what is the name of it again? I want to make sure people get more information about. It's called the what?
Yeah, themiracleproject.org.
Did you know you can support your favorite charity while shopping on Amazon? That's right, smile.amazon.com. As an Amazon Prime member, they support My Choice, St. Jude, Children's Research Hospital. So go to smile.amazon.com, select your favorite charity, and let them do the rest. Okay, the year 2020 for Shelley Pack was
learning that I can do what I need to do with a bare minimum. What do I really need?
right.
And what is just like frivolous, right? So like what I really need is to still be creative. So thankfully there were outlets where I could still be creative. I needed to eat, drink, fine, able to order everything in. I needed to be of service. That's a big thing for me. And so the Miracle Project actually grew over Zoom because now we're reaching students across the globe who can also participate because we're virtual.
Okay.
Really what's important, what's exterior and the outside, and then what's inside. I learned a lot about meditation. I really learned how to quiet my mind, which was not easy. It's like to not want to shut up. But, you know, all that kind of doing breath work and meditation and then going in instead of going to the outside world.
Right.
And so while that was definitely something that we were doing on a larger scale, I did that on a personal scale. I found it to be really beneficial, you know, to be able to do that.
That's a great story. I think a lot of us learn things like that, how to be comfortable in our own skin.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to put it.
We're going to wrap it up. We want to thank the lovely and talented Matthew Moore, who is in your movie, and you do improv with, correct?
Yes, Improv for the people.
Okay, go there. Go to the Miracle Project. Don't forget to check out Shelley's movie, which is called again?
Chasing Molly.
How many times do you think we said that during the whole
I don't know.
show?
I don't know why I screamed it and then did a hand motion. No one can see me. But I was like doing a cheerleader pose unnecessarily.
Cat or dog person?
Cat.
Oh, how many?
3.
Names?
Lulu, Tattoo, and Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar is in the movie because Pablo Escobar has a little mustache.
Shelley, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being on my podcast. Oh, where can people see you if in the area? Are you playing anywhere locally?
Yeah, we are at the Pico Theater in West LA. So just follow Improv for the People on Instagram and you can find us. But I perform regularly with Improv for the People.
Again, Shelley, thank you for your time and thank you for being on my podcast.
Appreciate it. This is wonderful, Glenn. Thanks so much.
And thank you, everyone, for listening and supporting my podcast and checking out my sponsors. So, until next time, on My Friend Glenn, don't forget, during your day, take a moment and smile, because you know, you're worth it.